Welcome back, ritualists, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Lathian speaks with the dead, Rhal runs from the dead, Squash is hunted by the dead, and Zaltanna makes friends with death. Despite having to confront the ghosts of their pasts, the team maneuver themselves around the house to perform their parts of the ritual to summon the deity of death. With the discovery that Ama is within their reach, they now rush to reach the dragonleaf tree in order to obtain its sap. Will Lisbeth be okay if they are late? What awaits them in Death's Orchard? And what final challenges will they face to revive Ama? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die.
You find yourself standing in an orchard. There are a series of small trees planted in rows. The leaves, the barks are light blue, silver, brass, or gold. There are hundreds of them. There's a very small amount of light that is coming through the leaves. On the ground, there's a low mist that swirls around your feet, revealing, as you look around, grave markers. Some standing upright, some knocked down. There are names written across all of these, some you recognize, languages, some you don't. As you look a bit further out, and with Squash's ridiculous vision, he can tell that much further out the trees are no longer in straight lines. They are beginning to break, they're beginning to create a thicket around. So they will become a bit meshed, they're no longer in order. That's all that y'all can see from where you are.
Is Miracle with us?
No. It's just the four of you. Exactly the way that you left the crypt. Yeah, that's where you were. So everything you had before is exactly what you have now. You have nothing, no magical items have been returned to you. You're exactly in the same state.
Well, the further on we go, the path seems to dissolve into just a mess. I don't know. I think we don't have another choice than to just search. Merkel didn't give us any hints or guidance, did they?
Not that I can think of. I just know we're supposed to get the sap, I guess, I think.
Yeah. The sap's important.
Rhal goes into Tia and flies around, and it doesn't leave line of sight, but we'll fly around and see.
Okay, that's perfect. You don't need a perception check. Flying above the kind of like the leaves above you, as you transfer your senses into Tio, and Tio flies upwards through the leaves, there is a kind of a very, like a dark blue sky. And you don't really know where this light that is dappling through the leaves is coming from. You can't see it. But as you look to your north, almost exactly where Squash was pointing, in fact, the kind of huddle of trees that have broken away from the straight lines, you can see that there are a couple of very, very big trees. They tower very, very high above the canopy. There are four of them. There's one of light blue, one has silver leaves, another brass, and the furthest off in the distance that Tio can see, you can see a tree that has golden leaves.
Rhal will point while he stays in Tia, just to keep up with Tia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about the right direction.
But how do we know what we're supposed to be getting? Or rather, from what are we supposed to be getting? There are many trees.
One for each, I guess. Or two from each. I don't think there's a... Unless somebody's gonna stop us, I think we should take as much as we can get.
If I remember correctly, Mikkel did say that this is a dangerous endeavor. That might not be the best option. I imagine there bears some risk if we start touching things. Why don't we take a look and see if we can try to discern anything a bit clearer? I mean, from what I can tell, it looks like these trees that are in the orchard here are just smaller versions of the crazy things that seem to be down the road ahead. Laufey's gonna go to the nearest, let's say, blue tree.
Okay. You can see that it's probably about 10, 15, about 10, 12 feet high. The bark is a kind of pale brown, but as you look along the distance, you can see that the bark on each tree seems to get darker and darker, as if it's become weathered and growing. The one nearest to you is young in comparison to the others. There are small kind of blue-looking fruits that are hanging off of the branches. The leaves are quite thick and they're a kind of like a light blue colour. And as you kind of get closer to it, you kind of hear like a very faint, chiming sound as the leaves rustle.
Being that this is an organized orchard, can I take a look around and see if there's any sort of indicator signs or any plaques or anything that essentially are this row of trees is this type of tree, this one is this one?
Yes. In that case, I need you to roll an investigation check for me. Actually, no, this be perception because it's a bigger thing in a further off distance.
21 perception.
Looking around, you can see that the trees have been planted in a pattern. So, the kind of the lighter blue trees are all in a very similar, all in bunches of 5s. They're kind of, the bronze ones are in patches of 3, etc. There seems to be an order to it. You can't pick up what the order is, but they're always in patches of 5 or batches of 3, that sort of thing. You can see at the base of the nearest... which one would he be? You can see at the base of the nearest brass tree, one with brass leaves. As you kind of look there, you can see that there is a kind of newish looking tombstone. And written on it is the name Rodri. And as you look around and you begin to figure out, some of these trees relate, picking up names, picking up things, the styles of names, that sort of thing. Laufey would be well versed in those. Each tree seems to have a particular race associated with them. And looking around, you could tell that the brass ones are related towards the dwarves. The silver ones are more related towards elves and another language that you don't recognise. Perhaps it was Kino. That's the only thing you really pick out from it.
Squash is gonna move ahead stealthily and
take a sneak check.
And scout the way for the rest of the group. There we go. It's a 25.
Of course it is. You can sneak your way ahead of them. No, that would be an active perception to read that. As you make your way sort of ahead of them, you very carefully pick your way through this mist. It's very difficult not to be spotted because the mist is swirling, but you kind of find a way of just moving with it and through it. So you don't really disturb it as much, which means you don't see much underneath your feet either. You can make your way towards the edge of the orchard, the organised planting. It's probably a good 20-minute walk. Is there anything anyone wants to say or do before we hit that moment, or is everyone quietly following this tiny little figure in the distance?
I'll mention everybody that the pattern I noticed where the different types of trees correlate to the different races.
Yeah, Squash is of course keeping his eyes out, and he's never much more than let's say 45 feet away from his companions. The intention is not to leave them behind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Squash is like leading up front, like behind Squash. If Squash wants to run ahead, Rhal's not going to like stop you, but Rhal still thinks it's kind of his job to like do things, I guess. So he's going to walk there, just kind of out in the open, and he's going to like be really quiet. And yeah, I guess he's playing with the little locket now with the scale in it.
Yeah, like as you're walking along, like sort of looking at the heart that you can break into two, you notice that no matter how you move a twist or like anything with the heart, that scale and those ashes do not fall out. The other side is completely empty. You can see there are a lot of like cogs and the very intricate like dwarven cog work, that sort of thing. It's very, very unique to look at. Definitely dwarvish. You definitely feel a bit of a connection to it, but you can't pin exactly what or why. As you'll continue walking forward, Squash, you come across a blue tree just ahead of you to the left. It's not giant, it's not the big one, but you do come across one. And on it, sort of around the base of it, you can see that there are a couple of grave markers. Some are very big, some are small, some are laying down flat. But you come across an empty grave. There is a grave marker, and there is a hole in front of it. And you pick up, as you kind of look over and read, you can see the name Emil Scott written on it.
Squash is gonna slow down, and you guys see like a little disturbance in the fog as he like whips his hand up like real fucking quick. And then he's going to scurry a little bit closer to the grave.
I'm going to let you ride that 25. As you scurry towards the edge of it, his marker is very, very old. As you kind of get closer to it and you're actually paying attention, like almost kind of disturbing the fog so that you can kind of see what's going on around you. Every grave marker has the name, and it has the date of birth and the date of their death. Emil's has his date of birth. It's somewhere in the 3,000 years prior. There is also 2 death dates on there and a blank.
He's been reviving himself. Or something.
We're back a ways. So I don't think we hear.
I'm assuming Squash will like relay this information at an appropriate time.
Sneaks back.
Yeah, so Squash is gonna move back to the group and basically just explain like, grey marker, Emil Scott, 2 death dates. He's clearly a lich. Let's burn him. Excuse me.
Well, I mean, he's on our side, so it can't be all bad.
Oh, yeah. He's one of those rare good liches. You know, the ambivalent one. He's a philanthropist.
No.
Mutually beneficial.
You shut your mouth.
Liches get stitches.
Shut the fuck up, guys.
He can't deal with this. We're too much for him. So that information is relayed.
Then Squash is gonna, Squash comes back and relays the information and then repeats what he's been doing earlier. Rhal, did you say that Neil's trying to keep like a little closer to Squash?
Oh, scratch that, reverse it.
The other way around.
Yeah,
Neil, did you say that, Rhal?
Trying to keep close.
Neil is trying to keep close.
God damn it. Okay, yeah. Okay, just want to understand the setup of the group.
Okay. You continue walking for a little bit longer. Up in the distance, I'm going to lead with Squash because he's leading you and he has ridiculous perception.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to say anything else, just shout. Up ahead, you can see that there is a little bit of a clearing. You guys have probably been walking for probably over an hour at this point. The clearing ahead of you has a single large tree. It's one of those, like, Tio would confirm this is one of the really big, large trees that they saw. And Squash, the diameter is massive. It's it's very wide. It's bigger than the table. So it's pretty big.
V, are we talking like redwood
big
big or like bigger?
I think redwood big is probably about right. It's a big tree.
Those are real fucking big trees. Okay.
Yeah. You can see that the bark is dark with age, and you can see there's a pile of dead silver leaves around the base of it. When you kind of approach and get close enough, probably about 20 feet out from the edge, you notice that 2 people are beginning to materialize. Now, I need to know in my brain whether you have met these people.
Just tell me their names and I'll tell you.
Yes, you've met them. You can see that standing at the bottom of this silver tree is a man you recognise as Talvin, and also a half-elf, half-dwarf that you recognise as Rodri. They're both standing and waiting at the bottom of the tree. They're kind of quietly talking to one another. You can see that there are grave markers all around them, and the mist is a little bit thinner around them.
As soon as Squash sees them, he stops, turns around, and regroups with the team.
Yeah. Like I say, you are sneaky enough and they are far enough out that you can not be spied by them yet.
Thank you. Squash returns to the group and we got Talvin and Rodri up ahead. And compared to what we saw in the mirror world or whatever the thing that thing was, I'm assuming they're not friendly.
I mean, they may be here to test us in some manner. Wouldn't surprise me.
Right, yours was actually good, wasn't it?
Talvin was nice to me. We had a chat. I'm sorry that he passed, but...
Okay, that's a good point.
I think we should just meet this one head on. I mean, if you want to stay in hiding in case you need to jump out and shoot something...
Nah.
We can't take too long, though. We do need to be moving along. Lisbeth's in danger.
Oof, you're right. Yeah. Fuck. Yep, okay, let's just...
You stay in hiding. We'll step out into the clearing and see what happens.
Agreed. Squash is gonna stay some, let's say, 60 feet out.
Okay.
And he's gonna have his crossbow ready. Hand crossbow.
Your stealth, your minimum is 25, right?
Yes.
Sure, you're hidden.
Unless I roll a 1.
Yeah, but you're a halfling.
You're a halfling.
I'm not going to make you burn them on this. No, I won't. I'm not that cruel.
I roll double 1. Snake eyes.
No, let's not do that. I assume is Rhal and Zaltanna going with Balance to meet Rodri and Talvin dead head on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're my friends.
You're friends.
Yeah, I meant you guys.
As you approach, you're not as sneaky as Squash, so they kind of notice you. As you approach them, you notice that Rodri looks a lot younger than she used to do. She doesn't look like she needs to lean on that cane. She's literally the youngest you've probably ever seen her, Laffian. It's a sight to behold. She seems to be happily talking away with Talvin. And as the 3 of you approach, Talvin looks up at the 3 of you and smiles and beckons you forward.
We meet again so soon.
We do.
Are we to be fighting, dueling, a game of riddles?
I think you've grown beyond your talents of your master. And he smiles.
I don't know what you mean.
He kind of gives you a side look of well, let's not test this right now. Rodri looks at the 3 of you and says, good to see you all back. Young, I miss this. We're the first for the Earth. Where's the other? It's supposed to be 4 of you.
Oh, sorry, with precautions. Squash!
Oh, you don't get anything on the first one.
You guys get no response.
We're really not going to be... We don't have to fight you guys or anything, right?
Talvin shakes his head and he says, no, not this time.
This
We're
time?
actually... He smiles and gives you a knowing look of like he can't say. We're actually here to give you what you need for the sap. To tell you the rules of engagement, so to speak.
Okay. Squash!
Okay, Squash emerges from the mist.
You'll fall into my cunning plan.
Meteor storm.
Oh, God. Not that one.
You see Rotary send a nod your way, just appreciative that you managed to hide yourself. We have a spile for a tree. One of the trees ahead. I should probably start again. Each tree has the dead that you all would recognize or miss the most. It looks at all four of you. This first tree is for you, Laffian. The others are for the others. Rhal, when you get to yours, that's the tree that you're going to need the sap from. The spile will allow you to extract the sap, but it takes somewhere between 16 and 20 seconds. And you have to make sure that the tap drips into the side of the heart that is empty. And he looks at I assume you're carrying the locket on your chest somewhere, or...
He has it, in his hand.
Yeah, he looks directly at your hand at that point. Yeah. Which means when you face the challenge of the gold dragon leaf tree, Rhal, you're not going to be able to fight. You need to keep your mind focused on what you want, who you need. The rest of you can leave. You don't need to partake in this. It's dangerous. You could be sent back to wherever you came through. Rest, relax, be ready for the next part of the mission. It's actually only all on Rhal right now.
Rhal slowly looks at the rest of you.
Why would we? We're in this together.
You see him and Rodri both kind of smile at you.
You don't need to be. Some people hide in shadows and run away. Others need to be rested for whatever the next thing comes after this place. Zaltanna, I know, is a little low on her magics.
You all can go.
I'm gonna look at Rhal, just not move.
Solidarity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. Rodri reaches into a pocket and she pulls out a small silver spile, a thing you tap into a tree to get sap. She walks over and hands it to Rhal.
I don't know exactly how long. Somewhere between 16 and 20 seconds. All of it has to drip into that half of the heart.
Okay. Thank you.
She nods.
Well, that's my part of this trial done.
She looks at Laffian. She nods and says,
Good luck, Prince Laffian.
and the rest of you. She smiles, and with a kind of a gust of wind, her form kind of just blows away until it's just Talvin standing there.
Rhal will slowly kind of like start making his way towards whatever tree he thinks he needs to go to. The gold one, apparently.
Yep.
What are the other trees? You said copper and silver?
Brass, silver, blue, and gold.
We're at the blue one right now.
No, you're at the silver one.
Oh.
These trees represent us somehow?
Are you asking that?
Yeah. Talvin, I guess.
Yeah. In a manner of speaking, yes. This is Lafian's tree. Kind of smiles. The others are for each of the rest of you. You'll find your own dead under them. Lafian, would you do me a favor?
Anything.
He reaches into a pocket and he pulls out a small wooden box. And he hands it to you and he says, I didn't know I'd be able to give this to you back in the other place. It's for Nymphana.
He takes the box and just slides it into the bag of holding. Or, no, he doesn't have the bag of holding, so he slides it into a pocket.
Ta-da.
Is there anything you want me to tell her?
She already knows. He reaches out and kind of gives you a hug. He says, good luck. Look after each other.
We'll do our best. Enjoy your rest until Father joins you anyways, and then I'm sure you'll have an earful.
Getting drunk in Cicero. And with that, there's a gust of wind, and his form just floats away. Okay. Rhal is beginning to make his way towards the gold tree, which is kind of in a line. You would kind of intersect the other two trees should you wish to. You can, of course, avoid the other two trees.
I mean, I think he'll walk slowly and just be looking around.
Looking around, you see a couple of smaller trees. You even see a couple of more empty graves as you walk around. You don't really recognize many names on these at all. No. The names you recognize would be much closer to your own tree.
Are there any other names that I recognize near mine?
You would recognize the names of, like, your various grandparents on them. I'm going to make you roll a perception check to get the bigger one.
Okay. 11.
It's quite difficult. No, you don't spot it. Sorry. Yeah, you spot a couple of elves. Some people that you knew when you were younger, prisoners in the prison that you kind of saw off and on. You see them in the fisty for sure, that kind of thing. But you don't really see the name I was looking for.
Good thing Lafian's not the type to shit on someone's grave. Otherwise,
Dance
that's a
on
good
it.
target.
Yep, alas not. Okay. You continue walking forward. Is Squash taking up the lead again?
I think Squash is letting Rhal take the lead this time.
Okay.
He seems to be walking with a purpose, and it's like, no, this is not mine to mess with.
Rhal, take a perception check for me, please.
I'm sorry, Rhal.
8.
Okay. As you continue walking onwards towards where the gold tree is, you're looking around, seeing what you can see, trying to spot how far away this giant gold tree that you saw from Tio's eyes is. You don't really seem to see it. You pass through a very dense section of small blue trees. Leaves blue, dark bark, all the good stuff. And you kind of put your hands to pass some of these trees out of the way. They're kind of like, the ones here are very thin and very, very narrow, very bendy. And you kind of push through one of them and realize that you're looking directly into a clearing. The clearing has, again, a massive tree. This one is blue. The leaves are kind of floating around. Ahead of you, you can see 2 small halflings. One male, one female.
Rhal slowly approaches.
Yeah, they were about to say hello. Like, you were spotted. Sorry.
Who do we see?
I'm not sneaking. Well, not
2
right now.
small halflings. Male and female. Hello.
Rhal kind of slowly waves. Do I recognize them?
Not really. Like, no, not really.
Yeah, no, I don't know many halflings at all.
No. Are you Rhal?
Yes.
Oh, you're a lot bigger than I thought you'd be.
Rhal chuckles a little bit.
She kind of like takes a few steps forward. She doesn't want to get too close to you. It's very obvious, but she does take a few steps forwards, trying to be a bit more proactive. And she says, Do you know what's coming?
Like the thing where the killing of the gods thing, or like the tree thing. What thing?
She's talking about the tree. The older man kind of like takes a couple of steps forward and stands next to the woman.
Oh, apparently I have to think real hard about something and fill this thing. And he kind of holds forward the tools that he needs, that he has. I don't know what's going on.
You have to stay focused on, and he points at the kind of golden scale. You have to stay focused on her. Otherwise, you're not going to get her back, son.
Okay.
You're going to take some hard knocks. That thing does not play nice. So if you've got any way of not getting hit so hard, armor or such like, you're going to want to wear it, kiddo.
I don't have any of my stuff, do I?
You do not.
Okay.
Your best bet's going to be using key points to take the dodge action.
Yeah.
And then just praying to God.
Yeah. Okay. What am I fighting?
Well, and she kind of like looks at him and interrupts and says, you shouldn't be fighting at all. Sweet pea, if you let go of that heart or you stop holding on to the spile into the tree, and you don't keep it directed in that heart, you won't get her. I guess your tail is the only defense you have. The only thing you can fight with. You have to suffer to get her back. You're the sufferer, right? It's certainly not the other three.
I know. I was hoping that was done. Okay. Thanks for warning me. And Rhal gets out a couple healing potions, I guess, because that's what he's got. And
use them if you got them.
Yeah, I guess
better
you
if
guys
you got 'em, baby.
see Rhal pulling out potions and.
The rest of you have definitely, you can definitely have caught up. You can definitely hear what's going on, even if you don't present yourselves.
I think it's definitely like one of those, like when Rhal steps aside, Squash is just standing right behind him. It's just like, kind of, yeah, like when Rhal shifts a little bit, like Squash just comes into view and he's just standing there kind of looking at them sheepishly.
She smiles at you and she puts her arms out to you.
No tricks?
Not this time, son.
Squash runs at them.
Your mother is a lot shorter than you remember. Your father is about as tall as you remember. And they both hug and hold you very, very tightly. And your mother pulls away a little bit, like you can see a kind of like a tear that she's kind of quickly brushing away. And she says, you've had a tough one, haven't you?
Yeah. It's been difficult out there.
We're so sorry about teaching. We're so sorry. We didn't know you were still alive.
You could have. I'm sorry I never came home. I could have.
It's okay.
It's not okay. It's never gonna be okay. I fucked up. I ruined it. I ruined all of it. If I'd come home, I could have told you the truth.
Don Connolly, stop right now. Are you or are you not standing here with the sufferer? And he looks over at Rhal.
Yes.
Are you not now clean?
Yeah.
Well then. Just because you did fuck up doesn't mean you are a fucker. And you can see like your mum kind of do that half-hearted like slap in the middle of the chest for swearing.
But I ruined it. Empty Shallows is a testament to that grotesque man now.
You see your mum looks somewhat ashamed. It's not just you, Squash. You don't have to do this. And she does look over at like the rest of your companions and looks back at you. You need your strength for what's coming next.
I never doubted that you still loved each other, you know?
That's a very long and complicated story, Squash.
I don't care. I knew the whole time. Even after I saw that ugly statue in our backyard, Squash kind of goes on one knee and gets the backpack off, and he gets out the backpack, and gets out the little box. And it's just like, I knew instantly that it was a lie.
I didn't think you were dead. I couldn't prove it either way. And he knew. I just couldn't get him to tell me. Squash, we don't have long. We have to leave in a minute.
He's not gonna hurt anybody else. We imprisoned him. He's gonna stay there forever. He's never gonna get his goals.
Your parents share a concerned look and look back at you. Your father says, "Tell me about... I've been watching you for a little bit. The girl that you played games with in the dining room, talking about monsters and stealable things. Is she good?"
Yeah. 100%.
You see your parents look at each other, and there's a moment of understanding that passes between them. They grab hold of your shoulders and march you as far as they can in 4 seconds, almost at a forced run, so the rest of you can see this happening. You see your father holding what looks like a crossbow, and he's fiddling with it. Your mother wraps her arms around you and whispers 2 words in your ear. "Gouge Mother's dagger." And then you're back exactly where you were before they dragged you away. The rest of you see a momentary flicker as if all 3 of them have changed positions in a snap second. "We've got just enough time to give you this." And he hands over a crossbow.
Squash receives it hesitantly. What is this?
It's been in our family for a while. You're the last one left, so I guess it's yours now. With that, there's a very strong gust of wind, and the 2 of them disappear.
Squash looks down at this crossbow he's been given. Does it have
It's a small hand crossbow. It's made of wood that has been kind of dulled with age, so it's that kind of a darkish thing with a lot of... It looks like grime, but it's mostly just wear and tear. The metals have been dinked and chipped a little bit here and there. But as you look at it, you can see that the arms of the crossbow, they have etchings and runes on them that glow very, very slightly blue.
Squash kind of just looks from the crossbow up at the tree and... I'll do you proud. This time. And then he starts following Rhal.
Okay. Continuing on. Rhal, I need you to make a perception check.
It's just that I have disadvantage on all of these. It's just that it sucks. It sucks very much. 10.
You spot the clearing this time before you approach.
Oh my goodness.
You don't just blunder your way into it by accident, no. You spot the clearing as you approach. You're approaching a large brass tree. And you spot a person that you recognize. Someone that you have either come across in the GDC or someone that you may have come across outside of Falsum. You recognize the form of Father Caldrain. You also recognize a dwarf who looks unbelievably like Zaltanna, except older and probably her father.
Yeah, Rhal kind of stops, kind of sensing a sensing a theme here, and looks behind himself for to see how far behind Zaltanna is.
Not far, I'm guessing.
Yeah, she's probably not very far. She was, like, following you pretty directly. So, she sees her dad and she's just, like, her eyes narrow, and she grabs her axe.
He kind of does that mock thing where he throws both his hands up and then puts his hands over where, like, you embedded the axe into his chest before. He can't hide the smile on his face, though.
Don't like that he smiled. I think that Casey, know what's going on, but Zaltanna's like, my dad just tried to kill me, so I'm not here for this.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna step in front of Rhal with my axe, and I'm gonna, like, be like...
Rhal kind of, like, puts his hand on your shoulder. Like, you've seen the last confrontation. Like, Rhal knows that Squash was fighting, yeah, because he looked in the mirror to see that Hagen was maybe going to fight him, so he knew who was fighting.
That's true, yeah, you fought your dad last time too, right?
Yeah.
You might not have seen that, but, like, I think Rhal saw it when he was hiding because he was watching everyone, I think. Trying to figure out where to go, I think it was what was happening. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, hand upon shoulder, yeah.
Zaltanna, like, looks up at you, like... I don't know that we're safe. We should probably keep moving. I will fight my way through whatever the fuck is happening right now.
Little Anna, exactly the same. And we're not here to fight you.
There's, like, a little, like, twinge when he says little Anna. And, she looks over, but she still is very distrustful. She did not get this far in life by immediately trusting apparitions of her father that just tried to kill her.
Last time you did, he tried to kill you. A fair comment, you've learned. I'm not here to kill you this time. I'm just here to give you a chance to consider, rethink, and say goodbye. Properly this time.
Yeah, if you were really my dad, you would know exactly what's going through my mind.
You see him smile, but you also see Father Caldrain smile as well. Like, they're both well aware of what you're thinking.
I'm, like, giving even more suspicious glances to Father Caldrain, because as far as I know, he's, like, alive? Oh, no.
We figured out he died. I can't remember.
Oh, we did?
Someone did.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned it.
I don't remember that at all. I'm
someone
very
said, like,
fine.
he was crushed when the world shook or something when we were on top of the mountain.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. I legitimately forgot. I think Zaltanna probably forgot too. A lot of shit's happened.
That's fine. So much has happened.
So many people have died.
So many are dead people. To be fair, they also may have died last night in the attacks, and nobody knows. So.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was Father Caldrain that got crushed when we were on top of the mountain. I think that was Phaestos that got crushed.
That was Phaestos, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Father Caldrain got attacked by the shadows again, though.
No. So good. He was so good. Zaltanna's, like, giving very suspicious glances at both of them, and she slowly approaches, but she's got both of her axes out now.
One for each.
Yeah.
Father Caldrain takes half a joking step back, like as if he's afraid. He doesn't seem afraid, but he does respect the power that you have. And he says, "We're honestly not here to fight you.
What are you doing here?
Well, Adette would have been here, but she's no longer mortal." And he smiles. "So it's me instead."
It takes a second, and Zaltanna like kind of realizes that means that Father Caldrain is dead, and just drops both of her axes without meaning to, and like just kind of runs over and like hugs him, because she learns, but she doesn't learn very well.
Father Caldrain gives you a big hug back. Your father kind of looks on. You're not really sure with what in his face, but he goes over and lays a hand on your shoulder.
She tenses back up and like turns around and is like, narrows her eyes and goes, "Okay, if you're not going to kill me now, why'd you try to kill me before? Was that you too?
Yeah.
What is up with this fucking dead people trying to kill their daughters bullshit?"
I got a choice. Miracle told us that if we acted the part for them, that we'd be able to get a chance to see you all again. Talk properly. Say goodbye, say the things we never got a chance to.
So the goal there was try to kill me so that you could
no,
talk
Zaltanna.
to me.
Little Anna, no. Yeah, we would have knocked you unconscious, and you would have gone straight back into that mirror room. You wouldn't have died. You just wouldn't be part of this anymore. But we'd still get a chance to say goodbye.
Like, Zaltanna's like crying.
It's worth being killed by you, my darling. And he smiles.
She throws her arms
Got
around
one
him.
hell of a fight. I'm so bloody proud of you. Daughter of an enforcer becoming a goddess. I couldn't have asked for anything better, really.
Shit.
But we do have to make you an offer. And he looks at Father Caldrain. Father Caldrain says, "You have the choice to leave now, if you wish. You can gain back some of your magic. Not all of it, some of it. So when everybody leaves and goes to Lisbeth, if I'm saying that name correctly, that you will have some magic on your side. If you go with the sufferer now," he shakes his head, "you won't gain or have anything. And I don't want you to die. Not like this."
I've got a little bit of magic left. I'm not looking to die either. But I can't leave Rhal. He gave up so much for me. And he's done
Zaltanna.
so much. Shut up, Rhal.
Zaltanna, we can't. Zaltanna,
Don't tell me to leave. I'm not. I owe you
we
so
can't
much.
lose Lisbeth and Dacian.
Do you want me to go? Is that what you want?
I think that's what we need.
Okay then. Well,
I don't want you to go, but it sounds like you need to. It sounds like we have to help Lisbeth. I mean, you'll need all your spells or whatever, right?
she's gonna walk back to Rhal and just pull him into a hug.
Yeah, Rhal hugs.
I'm sorry, I told you to shut up.
Rhal laughs.
Behind, not that Zaltanna can ever see it, but the people looking at Father Caldrain and Father Zaltanna, you see them show a look of just like pride at the utterance of her saying sorry and her going over and kind of standing with her buddy.
Okay, if it's what you want and you think this is all, I don't want to leave you, but if you think that that's the best route, I'm going to do what you say, because this is about you, and I want you to get Ema back, and I want to keep Dachin contained, so that's the most important. And she looks at you, like, just making sure that you're absolutely certain about this.
Rhal kind of stands up and stands back up, because I imagine he has to, like, kneel down to hug.
I'm very short.
Yeah, and he kind of smiles and nods.
Okay,
And
well...
how many healing potions did I have? I need to sort that.
This is why I tell
you
you
guys
guys
fucking dip.
Write shit down.
I think that it wasn't disclosed to me. I would have.
It was.
I don't think I was given a number.
No, you
I think
were.
he got given 2 or 3.
Oh, he got loads. Yeah, you got to fuck
I had
somebody.
6, so I'm pretty sure I gave you 3, and then
Yes, that's right.
each of us kept
Everyone else
one.
had 1 each. Yep.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
And those are.
I'm gonna say that the other 2 can hear this conversation, so if they want to chime in, they're more than welcome to. Like, don't feel like you can't.
I personally, I'm staying here. I'm not leaving.
You all need to go. What if I'm too weak afterwards to even help with Lisbeth? And then you all are useless too. Because you did not rest.
I'm not that bad off.
I'm pretty bad off. I might actually be useless after this if I don't rest. Rhal's right.
How many D8s are those healing potions?
They're D4s, right?
Fuck.
2d4
How
plus
many
2.
D4s? 2d4s, okay.
It's not a big healing potion.
Okay.
Are you drinking a healing potion?
It's plus 2 as well, Neil, for each one.
Yeah, he drank 2 of them.
Good. I worry about
Oh, that's
Rhal
some
so
bad
much
rolls on
all
that
the
first
time.
potion.
Yeah. Second kind of made up for it.
Yeah.
And they're plus 2 each?
Yep. So that'd be 13 healing in total.
He's not at full, but he's pretty alright.
Well, I guess if Zaltanna goes back and gets to do a rest, then she can heal you up again.
Okay.
She'll go back with additional resources. It won't be a full rest.
Well, I mean, it's a short rest, right? Or is it just...
You'll get a bunch of stuff.
Okay, well...
I've already predetermined what everyone got by going back early.
Okay, well, Rhal really wants me to go back. I don't want to. I'm very torn. But he's right that, like, I think I have literally 2 spell slots left. And 0 lay on hands. So, like, mechanically, maybe not the best to have your Healy Paladin go into battle against the big bad guy with, like, literally no way to heal everybody. Fuck. And Zaltanna is gonna look at Laffian.
What?
I don't know. You're like our leader and shit.
If you think that you need it, then might not be the worst idea in the world.
Okay, well, Zaltanna is going to press your healing potion back into your hand and say, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, but don't let him die.
That's why I'm tagging along.
Okay. And Zaltanna's going to walk back over to her dad and just, like, nod, but, like, it's like a grimace nod.
Yeah, it's like...
Rhal's giving Balance that look like you really need to go too.
He's giving you a look back like you can fuck right off.
It's like one of them is staying. You sure about this?
No. But Rhal is right that at least one of us should probably head back and gain back some resources. And it probably should be me because I'm the one who is best at taking care of the rest of us.
He smiles.
Health-wise.
Your father smiles and puts his hands over where you embedded 2 axes in his chest. It's like, yeah, no, mate, you need that extra if you're dealing with who I think you are.
And Zaltanna like picks up her hand axes when he does that and like puts them back where they belong.
If you're sure, just say the word.
Word.
Father Caldrain and your father put a hand on your shoulder. And with that, Zaltanna disappears, as do they, in a strong gust of wind. Okay, let me go to my list of stuff that you gain back.
It's a really fucking hard decision, and I hated that.
That was not nice of you.
You get back a
Excuse me,
level
it was-
1 spell slot.
It was very nice of me because I'm going to,
And
if I
2
can get
HP.
back like enough, if I can get back anything, it's going to be very helpful to all of us when we're fighting fucking Dacian in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
In
like,
2
if you all
episodes.
have to fight Dacian, you're going to want those fucking smites, man. Okay, Zaltanna, you go back up to your maximum hit points.
Okay.
You regain 1 level 3 spell slot,
Okay.
2 level 2s,
Oh my god, this is
and
actually
3 level 1s.
Okay, so I'm back to full on level 1s. I gain 1 level 3, right? So,
1 level 3.
and then I gain back 2 level
Gain back.
2s,
Yeah, 2 2s.
and then full health, but none of my lay on hands though.
Your lay on hands is like whatever, you're level 12, so it should be 60. Roll 2d20. That's the only thing I left up to chance on yours. Actually, chance, yeah.
That's so I got back 8 points of lay on hands.
It totally said 10, right?
It's a 10, yes, 10 points of lay on hands.
Good choice.
Boy.
In that case, Zaltanna Thunderheart, I need you to mute your microphone. Let's hope the boys don't die.
Yay,
Okay.
Guapo.
Real
Yeah,
quick
go
before
for it.
I mute myself, it's okay if you guys die because I have the ability to bring you back.
Revivify.
And now that I have my fucking spell slots back, I can bring back 2 of you.
Oh, good.
So if 2, just make sure one of you is alive.
Our specters are not going to be happy.
That's so good.
I just see you standing in the mirror room and then just like my body falls out, another body falls out. It's like,
And I'm like,
Before they even hit the deck, Zaltanna's already revivified them.
just Zaltanna, like, I just imagine Zaltanna's like magical healing is basically the same as like her hands become like a defibrillator because she's got like the
Yes.
thunder. So it's just, she just
Yep.
like rubs her hands together, yells clear, puts one hand on each body, and they just come back to life. That's my plan.
I would so allow this as a twin spell. I think it's just too funny. Okay. All right then. So yes, unfortunately, I'm going to need you to mute yourself, and you'll probably be muted for the next episode as well. Because
Don't die, you wonderful, wonderful boys. Goodbye.
you killed us.
we're fucked. Damn it! I thought I could get 2 of you out. I was pretty sure I could get 2 of you out. I'm happy I got 1 of you out. That was good. Okay. All right. The 3 of you standing at the tree. There is no Zaltanna. Both Father Caldrain and Father Zaltanna are also gone.
Onwards, then?
Only one way to go.
Okay. Onwards ever. Who's taking the lead?
Raw again.
Okay. As you make your way further, it's probably again another half hour, 35-minute walk. All the trees around the giant gold tree, you can see that their leaves are brighter. They're all shining with some sort of glow. Pale blues, silvers, brass. There's no sun, but the glow from the leaves do the job. they also begin to part, forming a proper pathway this time. And you can see lots of tombstones around, a couple of empty graves. Rhal, I'd like you to roll a perception check, please.
Oh, goodness. I wonder if it'll be good or not. The suspense. It wasn't. It was a 12. Well, for disadvantage, actually. Not bad.
Better than the last one.
A little bit below average.
Unfortunately, you don't
average.
spot any gravestones of any relevance. I'm very sorry. You see a large golden tree. This tree is probably like 15 times the size of Balance's silver tree. It's huge. You can see that straight ahead of you there is what looks like a door carved into the bark. There doesn't appear to be anyone around.
Door and tree. Rhal slowly makes his way to the door in the tree.
Yeah, it's more than big enough for someone of Rhal's height and obviously Lafian's height. It has a very simple handle on it. There's no lock that you can see. There is no like windows carved into it you can see. It's literally just a door cut into the tree. Yeah.
And the other trees didn't have that?
Oh god, no. This tree is 15 times like the diameter of Lafian's tree.
Listen, it's not the size that matters, okay?
Rhal slowly,
the amount of people you get on it.
Not sure if he's allowed into the thing, but like he wants to open the door. You know?
What's in the door?
You know, V?
Okay, so am I hearing this right? You find a big tree, you find a door in a tree, you're just going to saunter up to it and open it and things are going to be good, yeah? Yeah?
What else do I do with the door?
Well, normally we let Zaltanna handle them.
Yeah.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, V.
You sent away our Lord of the Doors.
Well, I don't know what to do with it. I'm confused at it because I don't do the doors here.
I roll initiative at the door.
Oh gosh, no. All right.
Mind
Okay,
thrust.
so you're just going to... All right, hand on the door. No checks at any kind done upon this door. It's great.
Nope.
You pull open the door. Yep, you just reach out, hand on a door that you haven't worried to check about for traps or anything like that. You pull open the door.
Why would there be traps? This is the land of the dead.
Why wouldn't there be traps? It's the land of the dead.
What
You
is
open the
this?
door.
With the God, what is his name? The kid from Home Alone's treehouse. My jokes are bad because I can't remember pop culture references. Fuck my life. God damn it.
And Casey with the answer. There we go.
Macaulay Culkin.
I
Yes.
knew it.
This is Macaulay Culkin's
You're a
treehouse.
genius. We love you.
I couldn't stop thinking Toby Maguire.
No,
I'll cut it
oh
up to
gosh,
make
no.
my joke good.
We talked about the Lord of the Doors and the God of pop culture. Anyway, you open the door. It is not trapped. You see a wooden staircase that has been carved into the tree itself. It's not a particularly long, it's not particularly dark. There seems to be a kind of goldish glow in here. The moment you step foot in here, Rhal, you can smell Aimer's perfume. It's strong. You know how it is, you know what it is, but this is much like she is around here, as in, like, she may be in the next room, kind of, like, you can sense her very clearly here. For the other two stepping into this golden light, I assume for Lafian, it would be Kythia.
I would assume so. I can't think
Great.
of anybody else that would...
Trick of the senses.
Yeah. I mean, we never really
Yeah.
talked about Kythia having a particular scent or anything.
No, but you would sense her. Like you would like feel something about her nearby. Squash, you would feel something very similar, very similar. You sense someone else's presence that you can't 100% pinpoint, but you know it's someone that you're familiar with.
The electrical charge of energy of magic in the air.
I'm not saying anything. I will neither confirm nor deny. You make your way down the spiral staircase. and you step out into a hollow that has been carved into this tree. Looking up, you can see that there are many holes that go all the way to the surface, which could be hundreds of feet up. And you see small dapples of light coming down. The ground itself is littered in golden leaves. The person that you sensed, they're not here, but you can feel it almost as if they're right next to you, but they're not. Ahead of you, about 20 feet tall, you can see that there is a tree. It has very gnarled, dark bark. You can see that it's covered in a mixture of gold and orange and red leaves. You can see it very imperceptibly, kind of a squash would at least, see it move a little bit, like the branches swaying in some sort of breeze that you can't feel down here. And this is what is presented before you.
It's a tree within a tree.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think we've found the root of the problem. But I'm done. I'm not going to do it.
You're barking in the wrong tree.
My will of to live is leaving me quickly.
Oh, it's all pine. It's all pine. All right, let's stop.
This is so deep-seated in our...
Well, they say never go against the grain.
Hey everyone, it's V. So everyone is stuck in a tree, and we just finished the episode on a mini pun run, which is always something that makes me happy. So, y'all, hope you guys are enjoying what we're doing so far. And it's a little bit weird and a little bit odd, but I had great fun doing this, and I think everybody else did too. So hopefully you are as well. We want to say thank you to one of our newer patrons, Kim Jane. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It means that we can keep doing all the cool things that we've been doing. So thank you for that. Part of Patreon costs actually go to helping our website run, and you can go check out our website, theluckydie.com. There are cool things on there, like everybody's subclasses are on there, especially the homebrew ones, bonus content like threads and all of those other ones are also on that website, and it looks super cool thanks to Kessie and its amazing art. So yeah, go check that out. Otherwise, there is a podcast I want to recommend, and you're about to hear an ad for them, called Ignorance Was Bliss, which hopefully, fingers crossed, we might be guests on at some point, so you might want to go check that out. Other than that, thank you folks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
Hey, this is Kate. I'm a forensic psychologist and crisis clinician, and I collect stories. Everything from true crime to trauma to parenthood. There's a lot more in common between depression and sociopathy, or between serial killers and podcasters, than you might think. Are you sure you really want to know? This is Ignorance Was Bliss at iwbpodcast.com and IWB Podcast on social media.